Before the Big Bang, before dinosaurs, before your last alarm snooze, there was time, but not the kind that rushes you to meetings or makes your noodles soggy. No, this was cosmic time, divine, slow, and loopier than a snake doing yoga. Welcome to the beginning of everything, and the end, and the beginning again. Imagine a clock so big, it ticks once every 432 billion years. That's not a metaphor. That's literally how long one kalpa lasts. A single day in the life of Brahma, the creator. And when Brahma sleeps, the universe dissolves like a sandcastle at high tide. No pressure, right? Each kalpa is divided into 4 yugas, or cosmic ages. Think of them as the universe's mood swings. Satya Yuga, the golden age. Everyone was honest. Cows gave almond milk, and even demons practiced mindfulness. Treta Yuga. Things got a little spicy. Morality dipped. Kings got ambitious, and people started inventing drama. Dvapara Yuga. More chaos. Wars, ego, and the invention of passive-aggressive poetry. Kali Yuga. That's where we are now. The age of confusion, memes, and people arguing in comment sections. But here's the twist. After Kali Yuga ends, the cycle resets. Like a cosmic Netflix binge, the universe hits play next episode forever. Time in Hindu mythology isn't a straight line. It's a spiral staircase. You keep going up, but you keep seeing the same wallpaper. And while this might sound exhausting, it's also comforting, because no matter how weird things get, the universe always knows how to reboot. Feeling sleepy yet? Or just cosmically curious? Either way, hit that like button, subscribe for more mythological bedtime tales, and let me know in the comments. Where in the universe are you listening from? In the beginning, there was no beginning. No light, no dark, no up, no down. Just a cosmic stillness so deep, even thoughts hadn't been invented yet. No gods, no galaxies, no gossip, just the great void. Timeless, formless, and quieter than a library on a snow day. But floating in that nothingness was Vishnu, the divine dreamer, resting peacefully on the coils of Shesha, the infinite serpent. Shesha wasn't your average snake. He had 1,000 heads, each one whispering lullabies older than time itself. And Vishnu, he was the universe's most serene sleeper, drifting in a trance so deep, even eternity paused to listen. Vishnu didn't need alarm clocks. His dreams were the alarm. And one day, if you can call it a B-day, when time hasn't been invented yet, he dreamed so vividly that reality began to ripple from the center of his navel. Yes, the cosmic belly button of destiny. A lotus slowly bloomed, not with a pop, but with a gentle stretch, like a flower waking from a nap. On that lotus sat Brahma, 4 heads, 8 eyes, 0 clue what was going on. Brahma blinked. He looked left, right, up, and down. Nothing. Just him, a flower, and a very chill Vishnu snoring in the background. Well, Brahma thought, I guess I better create something. But creation isn't easy when you don't have a manual. So Brahma meditated. He listened to the hum of the void. He waited for inspiration, and slowly, the blueprint of existence began to form in his mind. Worlds, beings, elements, and the occasional divine drama. This wasn't a loud beginning. No fireworks, no dramatic music. Just a gentle unfolding, like a bedtime story whispered by the stars. And so, the stage was set. The dreamer dreamed. The lotus bloomed. The creator awakened. The universe, still sleepy, waited for its first breath. The universe, before it was a universe, was just water. Not the kind you sip from a bottle, but a boundless, cosmic ocean called Kshira Sagara, the ocean of milk. It stretched in every direction, with no shore, no bottom, and no lifeguards. Just pure, undisturbed potential. Floating on this ocean was Vishnu, the divine dreamer, reclining on the coils of Shesha, the thousand-headed serpent. Vishnu wasn't worried. He wasn't planning. He was simply being. His eyes were closed. His breath was steady, and his dreams were weaving the fabric of reality. Then, from the center of his navel, a lotus began to bloom. Slowly, gracefully, like the universe was taking its first breath. The petals unfurled, glowing with a light that had never been seen before, because, well, nothing had ever been seen before. Atop this lotus sat Brahma, the creator, looking like someone who just woke up in the middle of a very strange dream. He had 4 heads, so he could look in all directions at once, but there was still nothing to see. Just ocean, just silence, just the soft snoring of Vishnu echoing across eternity. Brahma scratched one of his heads. What am I supposed to do? He wondered. Where am I? Who am I? And why do I feel like I'm supposed to build IKEA furniture without instructions? He looked down at the lotus. He looked up at the skyless sky, and then he heard it. A voice, not from outside, but from within. It was the Om, the primordial sound, the vibration that would become the heartbeat of the universe. With that sound, Brahma understood. He wasn't just a being, he was a builder, a dream within a dream. His job was to shape the formless, to give names to the nameless, to turn the ocean of potential into a world of wonder. Because even divine creators need a moment to gather their thoughts. So Brahma sat on the lotus, closed his eyes, and began to imagine mountains, rivers, suns, moons, mangoes. Everything that would one day exist began as a flicker in his mind. And the ocean listened. Brahma blinked. All 4 of his heads blinked, actually. He looked around, left, right, up, down, and saw nothing but the soft shimmer of the cosmic ocean. Below him, the lotus swayed gently, as if rocked by the breath of the universe itself. And far beneath that, Vishnu slept on Shesha, the thousand-headed serpent, still dreaming the dream that birthed Brahma. Okay, Brahma muttered. I guess I'm supposed to do something important. But what? There were no blueprints, no divine to-do list, just a deep, echoing silence, and the faint hum of Om, the primordial sound, vibrating through the void like a lullaby sung by existence itself. So, Brahma did what any wise being would do when faced with infinite responsibility and zero guidance. He meditated. He sat cross-legged on the lotus, closed his eyes, and turned inward. And slowly, like stars appearing in a twilight sky, visions began to form. Worlds, elements, time, space, beings of light and shadow. The idea of creation itself. From his thoughts emerged the building blocks of reality, the elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, each with its own personality and playlist. The directions, north, south, east, west, and the mysterious somewhere over there. Time, not the kind that makes you late for meetings, but the cosmic kind, measured in yugas and kalpas. Beings, gods, sages, demons, humans, and creatures with more arms than a coat rack. But Brahma didn't just imagine these things. He breathed them into being. With each exhale, a new layer of reality unfolded. With each thought, a new law of nature took shape. He wasn't just a creator. He was the first artist, the first architect, the first storyteller. And yet, For all his brilliance, Brahma had one tiny problem. No one really worshipped him. Sure, he created the universe, but Vishnu preserved it. Shiva transformed it. And Devi, well, she was it. Brahma, despite his divine resume, often got left off the guest list. Still, he didn't mind. He had work to do, worlds to shape, beings to guide, and a lotus to sit on. So he kept creating, quietly and patiently, as the universe unfolded, petal by petal. Vishnu is the preserver, the cosmic caretaker, the divine middle child of the Trimurti, keeping everything balanced while Brahma creates and Shiva transforms. He's the one who makes sure the universe doesn't fall apart like a badly stacked tower of divine Jenga. But Vishnu doesn't shout. He doesn't stomp. He doesn't even rush. He floats, serene, composed, and always dressed like he's going to a celestial wedding. His skin glows blue, like the calmest part of the ocean, and his eyes hold the wisdom of 1,000 yugas. He reclines on Shesha, the 1,000-headed serpent, drifting across the ocean of milk. Around him, the universe hums. Above him, Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and grace, sits by his side, reminding everyone that elegance and abundance go hand in hand. Vishnu's job is simple, but not easy. Keep reality from unraveling. When the balance tips, when demons rise, when dharma fades, when humans forget how to be kind, Vishnu steps in, not with lectures, but with avatars, 10 of them to be exact. But we'll get to those in chapter 12. Each time Vishnu incarnates, he chooses a form that fits the moment. A fish to save the sacred texts from a flood, a prince to defeat a tyrant, a playful cowherd to teach love and mischief. He's flexible like that, divine but relatable, powerful but gentle, and he always arrives just in time, not early, not late, just when the universe needs a cosmic nudge. Vishnu's presence is subtle. He doesn't demand attention. He earns it through wisdom, compassion, and the occasional divine prank. He's the quiet force behind the scenes, making sure the cosmic play doesn't turn into a cosmic mess. And when he's not incarnating, he's dreaming, because Vishnu's dreams are the blueprint of reality. Every breath he takes is a lullaby that keeps the stars in place. So, if you ever feel like the world is spinning too fast, remember, somewhere out there, Vishnu is floating on a serpent, keeping everything together with a smile and a nap. Brahma sat on his lotus, floating in the endless cosmic ocean, and began to imagine, not just casually, like daydreaming during a boring meeting, but deeply, intentionally, like a divine architect sketching the blueprint of existence with his mind. First came the lokas, the realms of existence. He didn't just make one world. Oh no. Brahma was feeling generous. Satyaloka, the realm of truth and wisdom, where sages sip cosmic tea and debate philosophy. Svargaloka, the heavenly realm, full of music, luxury, and zero traffic. Burloka, earth, where humans would live, love, argue, and occasionally invent pizza. Patalaloka, the underworld, mysterious and deep, where serpents rule and secrets sleep. Each realm had its own vibe, its own beings, its own divine drama. Brahma didn't just build places, he built stories. Then came the beings. Brahma created gods, demons, humans, animals, plants, and even those tiny bugs that show up uninvited to picnics. Every creature had a purpose, even if that purpose was just to be mildly annoying. He gave the gods power, wisdom, and excellent hair. He gave the demons ambition, strength, and a flair for dramatic entrances. He gave humans curiosity, creativity, and the ability to forget where they put their keys. And because Brahma was feeling poetic, he created cycles: birth, life, death, and rebirth. Karma would be the glue that held it all together. Do good, get good, do bad, come back as a mosquito. But Brahma didn't work alone. As he created, Vishnu watched silently, preserving the balance. Shiva meditated, waiting for his turn to transform. And Devi, the divine feminine, whispered inspiration into the winds. Creation wasn't a one-time event. It was a dance, a rhythm, a cosmic unfolding that would repeat, evolve, and reset across endless yugas and kalpas. And Brahma, he just kept creating, quietly, patiently, like a gardener planting seeds in the soil of time. Shiva is not your typical god. He's not here to impress you with glitter or grand speeches. He's here to dissolve illusions, break boundaries, and occasionally wear a necklace made of skulls. But don't worry, he's not scary. He's just intense, like a thunderstorm that teaches you how to dance. He lives on Mount Kailash, high above the noise of the world, where the air is thin and the silence is thick. His home is simple: no golden palaces, no velvet cushions, just snow, serenity, and the occasional cosmic visitor. Shiva meditates for eons, his eyes closed, his breath slow, his mind deeper than the void. But when he opens his third eye, watch out. That eye doesn't just see, it knows. It burns through illusion, ego, and bad vibes like a divine laser beam. He's called the Destroyer, but not because he's angry. Shiva destroys what no longer serves. He clears the clutter. He ends cycles so new ones can begin. He's the cosmic reset button, pressed with love and precision. But Shiva isn't just a destroyer. He's a dancer. His Tandava, the cosmic dance, isn't just movement. It's the rhythm of creation and destruction. Every step shakes the stars. Every gesture rewrites reality. It's dramatic, yes, but also deeply poetic. And then there's his family. Parvati, his divine consort, balances his wildness with grace. Ganesha, his elephant-headed son, brings wisdom and snacks. Kartikeya, the warrior son, rides a peacock and fights with style. It's a household of paradoxes and love. Shiva's appearance is symbolic. Ash smeared on his body reminds us that everything returns to dust. The crescent moon on his head shows time's gentle curve. The river Ganga flows from his hair, bringing life to the world. And the snake around his neck, that's just Shiva being Shiva. Fearless, fluid, and slightly punk rock. He's worshipped by yogis, rebels, poets, and anyone who's ever felt like breaking free. Because Shiva doesn't ask you to be perfect. He asks you to be real. So, if you ever feel like the world is too loud, too fake, too tangled, close your eyes, breathe deep, and imagine Shiva dancing through the chaos, turning endings into beginnings. In the vast theater of existence, three divine forces work in perfect, if occasionally dramatic, harmony. They are not rivals. They are not co-workers. They are the cosmic balance. Each one essential, each one irreplaceable. Let's break it down. Brahma, the creator, is the spark. He imagines, initiates, and invents. He's the one who says, let's build a universe, and then actually does it. Galaxies, gods, goats. He's got range. Vishnu, the preserver, is the steady hand. He maintains the balance, keeps the systems running, and steps in when things go sideways. He's the cosmic IT department, But with more elegance and fewer password resets, Shiva, the destroyer and transformer, is the closer. He ends what must end, clears the stage, and makes space for the new. He's not about chaos. He's about renewal. Think of him as the divine compost bin, turning endings into fertile beginnings. Together, they form the Trimurti, a Sanskrit word meaning three forms. But they're more than just roles. They're energies, principles, archetypes that live not just in the heavens, but in us. Every moment of your life echoes their rhythm. When you start something new, a project, a relationship, a really ambitious lasagna, that's Brahma. When you nurture it, maintain it, and keep it going, that's Vishnu. And when you let go, move on, or hit the reset button, that's Shiva. The Trimurti aren't always seen together. They rarely share screen time, but their influence is everywhere. In the rise and fall of empires, in the bloom and wither of flowers, in the inhale, the pause, and the exhale of every breath. And here's the twist. None of them is better than the other. Creation without preservation is chaos. Preservation without transformation is stagnation. And destruction without purpose is just noise. The universe thrives because of their balance, a sacred triangle, a divine rhythm, a cosmic group project that actually works. So the next time you feel like your life is a little too messy, too fast, or too uncertain, remember the Trimurti. They've been managing the universe for eons, and somehow they still haven't missed a beat. Before there was form, before there was function, there was Shakti, pure, radiant energy. Not the kind that powers your phone, but the kind that powers everything. Shakti is the divine feminine, the force behind all forces. And when Shakti takes form, she becomes Devi. Devi isn't just one goddess, she is many. She is Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and grace, who brings abundance with a smile and never misplaces a gold coin. She is Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom and art, who plays the veena and whispers poetry into the ears of dreamers. She is Parvati, the goddess of love and devotion, who tames Shiva's wild heart with a glance. But Devi is also fierce. When the universe is threatened, when demons rise and the gods panic, she becomes Durga, riding a lion, wielding 10 weapons and wearing confidence like armor. And when things get really out of hand, she becomes Kali, the Dark Mother, the Time Slayer, the one who dances on the edge of destruction with a garland of skulls and a tongue that says, "Try me." Devi is not just nurturing. She is not just fierce. She is both. She is the mother who comforts and the warrior who protects. She is the river that nourishes and the storm that clears. She is the whisper in the wind and the roar in the thunder. The gods may have power, but Devi has presence. When she enters the story, everything shifts. The air changes. The plot thickens. The villains tremble. Even Shiva, the cosmic rebel, bows to her wisdom. And yet, Devi doesn't demand worship. She invites it through beauty, through love, through the quiet strength that says, "I am enough." In temples, she is adorned with flowers. In hearts, she is remembered with gratitude. In stories, she is the turning point, the moment when chaos meets clarity. So, if you ever feel small, lost, or unsure, remember Devi. She lives in every act of courage, every spark of creativity, every moment of compassion. She is not just in the heavens. She is in you. Once upon a Kalpa, in a universe not so different from ours, except with more flying chariots and fewer traffic jams, Two mighty clans ruled the cosmic stage, the Devas and the Asuras. The Devas were the gods, radiant, noble, and occasionally a little smug. They lived in Svarga, the heavenly realm, where the clouds were soft, the music was divine, and the snacks were always gluten-free. The Asuras were the demons, not evil, just ambitious. They were passionate, powerful, and had a flair for dramatic entrances. They lived in Patala, the underworld, which was less spooky than you'd think, more like a moody lounge with lava lamps. Now here's the twist. Both Devas and Asuras were children of the same father, Sage Kashyapa. Yep, cosmic sibling rivalry. And like all siblings, they fought. A lot. Sometimes the Devas won. Sometimes the Asuras did. But the battles weren't just about power. They were about balance. When the Devas got too comfortable, the Asuras challenged them. When the Asuras got too wild, the Devas pushed back. It was like a divine seesaw, wobbling across eternity. One of the most famous battles began when the Devas lost their strength. Literally, they were cursed, weakened, and desperate. So they turned to Vishnu, the cosmic problem solver. Vishnu, ever calm, suggested a plan. Churn the ocean of milk. Yes, churn it. Like butter. But instead of dairy, they'd extract Amrita, the nectar of immortality. The Devas and Asuras agreed to work together, with lots of side-eye. They used Mount Mandara as the churning rod, and Vasuki, the serpent, as the rope. They pulled. They pushed. They groaned. They churned. Out came treasures. Divine animals, goddesses, magical items, and finally, Amrita. But just as the Asuras reached for the nectar, Vishnu transformed into Mohini, a dazzling enchantress. With grace and charm, she distracted the Asuras and served the nectar to the Devas. Classic Vishnu move. The Asuras were furious. The Devas were glowing. And the universe? It sighed in relief. These battles weren't just fights. They were lessons. About ego, about cooperation, about the fact that even demons have a role to play in the cosmic drama, because in Hindu mythology, no one is purely good or bad. Everyone is part of the story, even the ones who flipped the board. The Devas were in trouble. Their strength had faded, their glow had dimmed, and their cosmic insurance had expired. The Asuras were gaining power, throwing parties in Patala and casually conquering realms. The universe was wobbling, so the Devas did what any divine beings would do. They asked Vishnu for help. Vishnu, ever calm, ever clever, suggested a plan so wild it could only work in mythology. Churn the ocean of milk, the cosmic sea of potential. From its depths, they would extract Amrita, the nectar of immortality. One sip, and the Devas would be back in business. But churning an ocean isn't easy. You need tools, big ones. Mount Mandara became the churning rod, tall, majestic, and slightly dizzy from all the spinning. Vasuki, the serpent king, volunteered as the rope. He wrapped himself around the mountain, probably wondering if he'd get a thank you card. The Devas grabbed one end, the Asuras grabbed the other, and together they pulled and pushed and pulled again. The ocean roared. Waves crashed. The mountain spun. Vasuki hissed, and the churning began. Out came wonders. Kamadhenu, the wish-fulfilling cow. Airavata, the white elephant. Uchchaishravas, the divine horse. Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, rising like moonlight from the waves. Kaustuba, the most radiant jewel. Dhanvantari, the divine physician, holding the pot of Amrita. But just as the Devas reached for the nectar, the Asuras lunged. Mine, they shouted. Ours. they insisted. It was about to get messy. Enter Vishnu, this time in the form of Mohini, the enchantress. Graceful, dazzling, and impossibly charming, Mohini offered to distribute the nectar fairly. The Asuras, hypnotized by her beauty, agreed. Mohini served the Amrita to the Devas. One by one, sip by sip, the Asuras watched, smiling, unaware they'd been outwitted by divine elegance. One Asura, Swarbhanu, disguised himself and snuck into the line. He got a taste, just a drop, before the sun and moon tattled. Vishnu, swift as ever, sliced his head off, but the nectar had already worked. His head became Rahu, and his body Ketu, celestial shadows that still chase the sun and moon, causing eclipses. The Devas regained their strength. The Asuras sulked. The universe sighed in relief, and the ocean of milk? It settled back into its cosmic calm, probably wondering when its next appointment would be. Let's start with Rama, the seventh avatar of Vishnu and the star of the Ramayana. Rama wasn't just a prince, he was the embodiment of Dharma, righteousness, duty, and doing the right thing even when it's really, really hard. Born in Ayodhya, Rama was calm, graceful, and had the kind of moral compass that never needed recalibration. He was married to Sita, a goddess in human form, wise and radiant. Life was good, until politics happened. Rama was exiled for 14 years. No palace, no luxury, just forests, sages, and the occasional demon. But he didn't complain. He walked the path of Dharma like a monk on a mission. Then came Ravana, the 10-headed king of Lanka, who kidnapped Sita. Big mistake. Rama, with the help of Hanuman, the monkey god with a heart bigger than a sleep, built a bridge to Lanka, battled Ravana, and rescued Sita. It was epic, emotional, and full of divine drama. But Rama's story wasn't just about victory. It was about sacrifice, integrity, and the bittersweet weight of being perfect in an imperfect world. Now let's meet Krishna, the eighth avatar of Vishnu and the heart of the Mahabharata. Krishna was born in a prison, raised by cowherds, and spent his childhood stealing butter and hearts. He played the flute. He danced with the gopis. He lifted a mountain to protect his village from a storm. He was playful, mischievous, and wise beyond the cosmos. But Krishna wasn't just a charmer. He was a strategist, a philosopher, and a divine guide. In the Mahabharata, during the Great War of Kurukshetra, Krishna became the charioteer of Arjuna, the warrior prince. When Arjuna hesitated, Krishna delivered the Bhagavad Gita, a cosmic TED Talk on life, duty, and the nature of the soul. Krishna didn't fight in the war. He guided. He revealed. He reminded everyone that the battlefield isn't just outside, it's within. Both Rama and Krishna are celebrated, worshipped, and loved. Rama for his unwavering righteousness, Krishna for his divine playfulness and wisdom. They're not just characters, they're archetypes. Rama teaches us how to walk the path. Krishna teaches us how to dance on it. And through their stories, Vishnu reminds us the divine doesn't just descend to fix things. It comes to live, love, and lead by example. Vishnu, the preserver, doesn't just sit on a serpent and sip cosmic tea. When the universe gets messy, when Dharma, cosmic order, starts slipping like a sock on a polished floor, he steps in, not with thunder, but with transformation. He takes avatars, divine incarnations, each tailored to the crisis at hand. 10 of them, to be precise. Together, they're called the Dashavatara. Think of them as Vishnu's greatest hits. Let's meet the lineup. 1. Matsya, the fish. When a great flood threatened to wash away sacred knowledge, Vishnu became a fish. Not just any fish, a cosmic, talking fish with a mission. He guided a sage's boat through the deluge, saving the Vedas and a few lucky passengers. Noah, who? 2. Kurma, the tortoise, during the churning of the ocean of milk. Remember chapter 11? The mountain started sinking. Vishnu became a tortoise and held it up on his back. Slow, steady, and surprisingly strong. The original shell support system. 3. Varaha, the boar. When the demon Hiranyaksha dragged Earth to the bottom of the cosmic ocean, Vishnu became a boar. He dove in, tusked the planet out of the depths, and gave gravity a pep talk. Muddy, heroic, and snout-powered. 4. Narasimha, the man-lion. A demon got clever. He couldn't be killed by man or beast, inside or outside, day or night. Vishnu said, "Challenge accepted." He became Narasimha, half man, half lion, and burst out of a pillar at twilight to deliver divine justice. Roar included. 5. Vamana, the dwarf, the demon king. Bali was generous, powerful, and slightly overconfident. Vishnu became a tiny monk and asked for 3 steps of land. Then he grew cosmic-sized and covered the universe in 2 steps. The third? Bali's ego. 6. Parashurama, the warrior sage. When arrogant kings started misusing power, Vishnu became Parashurama, a sage with an axe and 0 tolerance for tyranny. He cleaned house, then went back to meditating. Enlightenment with edge. 7. Rama, the prince, the hero of the Ramayana. Noble, graceful, and devoted. Rama battled demons, built bridges, and reminded everyone that Dharma isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. Also, excellent archery skills. 8. Krishna, the cowherd, strategist, lover. The heart of the Mahabharata. Krishna played the flute, stole butter, and delivered the Bhagavad Gita mid-battle. He was playful, profound, and always 10 steps ahead. Divine mischief meets cosmic wisdom. 9. Buddha, the enlightened one. In some traditions, Vishnu incarnated as Buddha to teach compassion and detachment. He reminded the world that peace begins within, and that silence can be louder than sermons. 10. Kalki, the future warrior. This avatar hasn't arrived yet. When Kali Yuga reaches peak chaos, when memes replace meaning, and Dharma takes a vacation, Kalki will ride in on a white horse, sword blazing, to reset the cosmic clock. Think of him as the divine reboot. Each avatar is a response, a solution, a reminder that the universe is never abandoned. Vishnu shows up, always, in forms we least expect, at moments we most need. And while the avatars vary, fish, prince, monk, strategist, they all carry the same message. Dharma must be preserved. Balance must be restored. And sometimes, the divine wears surprising shoes, long before the avatars walked the earth, before the devas and asuras had their epic showdowns, before even Brahma sat on his lotus, wondering what to do next. There was sound, not noise, not chatter, but sacred vibration. And from that vibration came the Vedas. The Vedas are the oldest scriptures in Hindu tradition, not written by humans, but heard by sages in deep meditation. They're called Shruti, meaning that which is heard. Imagine tuning into the divine radio station and transcribing the broadcast. That's how the Vedas came to be. There are 4 of them. Rig Veda, the oldest, filled with hymns to gods, cosmic poetry, and philosophical wonder. It's like the universe's first mixtape. Yajur Veda, rituals, ceremonies, and instructions. Think of it as the divine user manual. Samaveda, musical chants and melodies, the soundtrack of spirituality. Atharva Veda, spells, healing, and everyday wisdom. The cosmic first aid kit. But the Vedas aren't just about rituals and praises. Hidden within them are deep questions. Who are we? Why are we here? What is reality? And that's where the Upanishads come in. The Upanishads are the philosophical heart of the Vedas. They're like the bonus content, the director's commentary on existence. They explore Brahman, the ultimate reality, Atman, the inner self, and the idea that the two are one and the same. They whisper truths like, you are that, tattvam asi. From the unreal, lead me to the real. Asato ma sadgamaya. The self is not born, nor does it die. Najayate mriyate vakadachit. These aren't just lines. They're keys to unlock the doors of perception, to see beyond the veil, to realize that the universe isn't out there, it's in here. The sages who composed the Upanishads didn't shout. They didn't preach. They asked questions. They sat under trees, stared at the stars, and listened to the silence between thoughts. And what they found was astonishing. That the divine isn't a distant deity, but the very essence of your being. The Vedas and Upanishads aren't bedtime reading. They're bedtime awakening. They don't just help you sleep. They help you dream deeper. So, if you ever feel lost, overwhelmed, or just curious about the meaning of it all, remember, the answers have been whispered for thousands of years. All you have to do is listen. Shiva, the destroyer, the transformer, the ascetic king of Mount Kailash, is not just a meditating mystic or a cosmic rebel. He is also a dancer. And not just any dancer. He is the dancer of the universe. His dance is called the Tandava. It is not a performance. It is not for applause. It is the very pulse of creation and destruction. Every movement, every gesture, every beat of his drum is a ripple through time and space. In the Tandava, Shiva doesn't just move. He unfolds reality. His raised hand says, "Fear not." His lowered hand says, "I bless you." One foot crushes ignorance. The other hovers in grace. Around him, the flames of transformation swirl. His hair flows like rivers of energy. The crescent moon glows on his head. The Ganga leaps from his locks. And in his hand, the Damaru, a tiny drum, beats the rhythm of the cosmos. Creation, preservation, destruction, concealment, and grace. But why dance? Because dance is not just art. It is expression. It is freedom. It is the language of the soul when words fall short. Shiva's Tandava is not chaotic. It is precise. It is not violent. It is vital. It is the dance that ends one cycle and begins another. It is the divine exhale that clears the stage for a new act. And yet, Shiva also dances the Lasya, the gentle, graceful counterpart to the Tandava. This softer dance, often performed by Parvati, represents beauty, love, and the nurturing side of the universe. Together, Tandava and Lasya are the inhale and exhale of existence. In temples across India, Shiva is worshipped as Nataraja, the lord of the dance. In bronze, he stands in a ring of fire, one leg lifted, one arm extended, his face serene. Around him, the universe spins. Within him, stillness reigns. The Tandava reminds us that destruction is not the end, it is the beginning. That chaos is not the enemy, it is the compost from which new life grows. That even in the darkest moments, there is rhythm, there is grace, there is dance. So, If you ever feel like everything is falling apart, imagine Shiva dancing, not to destroy you, but to liberate you, to shake loose what no longer serves, to make space for what's next, and maybe, just maybe, to invite you to dance too. In the grand theater of Hindu mythology, nothing ever truly ends. Not joy, not sorrow, not even you. Because life, according to ancient wisdom, is not a one-time event. It's a cycle, a loop, a divine spiral called samsara. And at the heart of this cycle is karma. Karma isn't a cosmic punishment system. It's not the universe waiting to trip you with a banana peel because you skipped leg day. Karma simply means action. Every thought, word, and deed plants a seed, and every seed eventually sprouts, sometimes in this life, sometimes in the next. Do good, and goodness follows. Do harm, and consequences echo, not because someone's keeping score, but because the universe is wired for balance. Now, when your current life ends, and spoiler alert, it will, you don't just vanish. You reincarnate. You're reborn. Maybe as a human again. Maybe as a squirrel. Maybe as a poet, a prince, or a pigeon with excellent navigation skills. Your next life depends on your karma. It's like packing a suitcase for your next trip, except the clothes are your actions, and the destination is your next body. But the goal isn't to keep spinning forever. The goal is liberation, moksha, freedom from the cycle. The moment when the soul, or Atman, realizes it is not separate from Brahman, the ultimate reality. When that happens, the soul doesn't need to come back. It rests. It merges. It becomes one with the infinite. Until then, we live. We learn. We love. We stumble. We grow. And we return. The cycle isn't a trap. It's a classroom. Each life is a lesson. Each experience a teacher. And karma is the homework you can't skip. But here's the comforting part. You're not alone in this journey. The gods walk with you. The sages guide you. The stories remind you. And every breath is a chance to choose better, love deeper, and step closer to truth. So, if you've ever wondered why life feels like déjà vu, or why some people seem born lucky while others struggle, it's not random. It's karma. It's rebirth. It's the soul's long, winding path home. And the best part, you're already on it. Everything that begins must end. Even galaxies, even gods, even the stories we tell under the stars. And in Hindu mythology, the grand finale of existence is called Mahapralaya, the Great Dissolution. But don't worry, it's not a scary apocalypse. It's more like the universe taking a deep breath, closing its eyes, and hitting the cosmic snooze button. Mahapralaya happens at the end of Brahma's life, which lasts 100 divine years. That's about 301 trillion human years. So you've got time to finish your tea. When the moment arrives, the signs begin. The sun dims, the moons vanish, and the stars fall like sleepy fireflies. The elements unravel. Earth, water, fire, air, and ether return to their source. Time itself folds, like a scroll being rolled up after a long story. The devas lose their glow. The asuras stop fighting. Even Shiva pauses his dance. And Vishnu, he closes his eyes and begins to dream again. Because Mahapralaya isn't destruction, it's reset. The universe dissolves not in rage, but in rhythm, like a song ending, so another can begin. Everything returns to Brahman, the ultimate reality. No form, no name, just pure, silent potential. The cosmic canvas is wiped clean, waiting for the next creation. And then, slowly, gently, the cycle begins again. Vishnu dreams. A lotus blooms, Brahma awakens, Shiva prepares to dance, the devas stretch, the asuras plot, humans wonder, and the universe exhales into existence once more. Mahapralaya reminds us that endings are not failures, they are transitions, that even the grandest stories must pause, that silence is not empty, it's full of possibility. So, if you ever feel like something is ending, a chapter, a season, a version of yourself, remember Mahapralaya. It's not the end, it's the beginning of something new. After the great stillness of Mahapralaya, when the stars had dimmed, the elements had folded, and the universe had curled into silence, there was nothing, no light, no sound, no time, just the vast, formless presence of Brahman, infinite, eternal, and resting. But even in stillness, there is potential. Even in silence, there is a hum. And from that hum, a vibration stirred, a pulse, a whisper, a single syllable. That sacred sound echoed through the void, and with it, time was reborn. Vishnu, the cosmic dreamer, stirred in his sleep. On the endless ocean of milk, he exhaled. From his navel, once again, a lotus bloomed. And on that lotus, Brahma opened his eyes. He blinked. He stretched. He remembered. It was time to begin again. Brahma looked into the void and saw not emptiness, but invitation. He began to create, not from scratch, but from memory, from wisdom, from the echoes of all that had come before. He shaped the locus once more, realms of gods, humans, and mysteries. He summoned the elements, the directions, the seasons, and the rhythms of life. He breathed out the Vedas, the sacred knowledge, like a song remembered from a dream. And with each act of creation, time unfolded. The yugas began again. Satya, Treta, Dvapara, Kali, each with its own flavor, its own lessons. The devas returned, radiant and ready. The humans awoke, curious and confused, just like last time. But this cycle was not a copy. It was a variation, a new verse in the eternal song, a fresh swirl in the cosmic spiral. Because time doesn't just repeat, it evolves. Each kalpa is a new opportunity, a new experiment, a new chance for the soul to remember its source. And so, the universe began again. The sun rose. The winds danced. The rivers flowed. And somewhere, a child looked up at the stars and wondered, where did it all come from? And the stars, ancient and newborn, whispered back, from silence, from stillness, from the breath of the divine. Hindu mythology isn't just a collection of stories. It's a language of symbols. Every god, every weapon, every animal companion, every gesture is a doorway into deeper meaning. The myths aren't just meant to be heard, they're meant to be decoded. Let's open a few of those doors. Om, the sound of everything. Om isn't just a chant, it's the primordial vibration, the sound of the universe being born. The A represents creation, the U, preservation, and the M, dissolution. Together, they form the cycle of existence. Chant it, and you're tuning into the frequency of the cosmos. The lotus, purity in the mud. The lotus grows in muddy water, but blooms untouched by it. It symbolizes spiritual awakening, rising above the muck of the world while staying rooted in it. That's why gods like Lakshmi and Brahma sit on lotuses. They embody grace rising from chaos. The trident, Trishula, 3 forces, 1 power. Shiva's trident isn't just a weapon, it's a symbol of balance. The 3 prongs represent creation, preservation, and destruction, or past, present, and future, or body, mind, and soul. It's a reminder that power lies in harmony, not domination. The serpent, energy coiled within snakes, appear everywhere in Hindu mythology, around Shiva's neck, beneath Vishnu, guarding treasures. They represent Kundalini, the coiled spiritual energy at the base of the spine. When awakened, it rises like a serpent, unlocking higher consciousness. Fire, Agni, transformation, and truth. Fire is sacred. It consumes, purifies, and connects the earthly to the divine. In rituals, offerings are made to Agni, the fire god, who carries them to the heavens. Fire doesn't lie. It reveals what's real by burning away what's not. Ganesha's elephant head. Wisdom and strength. Ganesha's head isn't just adorable, it's symbolic. The elephant represents memory, intelligence, and calm power. His large ears remind us to listen more. His broken tusk, symbol of sacrifice for knowledge. He snapped it off to write the Mahabharata. Krishna's flute and peacock feather. The flute is hollow, just like the ego must be, to let divine music flow. The peacock feather, beauty, grace, and the ability to dance in the rain. Krishna's symbols teach us to live with joy, charm, and surrender. Mudras and postures, gestures of the soul. Every hand gesture in a deity's image has meaning. A raised palm means fear not. A downward palm means I bless you. These aren't just poses, they're promises. In Hindu mythology, symbols are shortcuts to truth. They bypass logic and speak directly to the soul. They're not meant to be explained, they're meant to be experienced. So the next time you see a statue, a painting, or a story from the epics, look closer. There's always more than meets the eye. A deeper message, a hidden map, a whisper from the divine. Because in this mythology, the sacred is never far. It's in the symbols. It's in the silence. It's in you. From the first breath of Om to the final hush of Mahapralaya, the universe is not chaos. It is harmony. A vast, intricate symphony where every note, every god, every demon, every star, every soul has its place. The Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are not separate forces. They are chords in the same melody. Creation, preservation, and transformation are not rivals. They are partners in the dance of existence. The Devas and Asuras, though always at odds, are both necessary. One pushes, one pulls. Together, they keep the wheel turning. The avatars of Vishnu arrive not to dominate, but to restore balance. Rama, with his righteousness. Krishna, with his wisdom. Buddha, with his silence. Each one a verse in the eternal poem. The symbols, the lotus, the trident, the conch, are not decorations. They are reminders. That purity can rise from mud. That power lies in balance. That sound can shape reality. And you, yes you, are part of it all. You are not outside the story. You are not watching from the audience. You are a note in the song, a step in the dance, a spark in the divine fire. Your joys, your struggles, your questions, they all matter, because the universe is not complete without your thread in its tapestry. And though the cycles may spin, birth, death, rebirth, there is no rush, no race, just rhythm, just return, just the gentle unfolding of the soul. So tonight, as the stars blink softly above and the stories settle into silence, know this: you are held, you are heard, you are home. And now, dear dreamer, our journey through myth and meaning comes to a close. Let the gods guard your rest. Let the stars cradle your thoughts. And let the eternal harmony of the universe sing you to sleep. Good night.